Welcome to the Fantasy Football Hub YouTube channel for the last game week of the season. Getting into game week 38 now. Joined again, as always, by FPL expert FPL Salah to give us some tips and advice for the final game week of the season. Abdul, mate, it's been a weird season in many ways, but good to have you back on. Ranks looking decent?
Yeah, I mean, the ranks were okay. I think we're both around about the same, but yeah, it hasn't felt like a great season. But although the ranks, are good, but I know, yeah, you're right. I mean, I just felt I've played quite badly and I've missed out on a lot of hauls, but somehow still, around about 50k. So yeah, let's see where I end up.
It's been a weird season, I feel like, because yeah, I feel like I've not got that lucky, and I've also made some mistakes as well.
Hmm.
But then, I mean, in comparison to last season where I came outside the top 100, and we both came outside the
We
top
did, yeah, we
100k,
did.
you got to take this compared to last year, which felt like much more of a slog. Let's see your score from last week. Obviously,
Mhm.
bench boost was in play. A tiny green on a bench boost. I think it kind of like sums up the season where the team looks really good going into the week, but you just get the smallest of greens, and obviously you want a bit
Mhm.
more than that.
Yeah, I mean, like the big difference here was Guardiola. I think he was
Yeah,
around about 40% owned.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there was I mean, obviously, he was a good asset, but I did not expect him to, rack up, one of the highest ever double game week scores for a defender. So yeah, it was pretty much that. And, I think the transfer of Brennan Johnson, and I was quite unlucky with that as well. He could have easily had like, a goal and 2 assists over that double game week, especially in the Burnley game. So yeah, unfortunate, but yeah, sometimes that's just the way it happens. One player kind of ruins it for you, in a sense. So yeah, I was expecting bigger gains in the bench boost, to be honest, Jack, but that is what it is.
I will say though, Guardiola just I think I might have made a misplay there by not getting him in just from watching the games.
Hmm.
Yes, you wouldn't expect him to score 2 goals, but he looked extremely attacking and was taking up good positions in both games, obviously. And yeah, 27 points is a lot of points,
Yeah.
but just based on his actual performance, I can't complain with the fact that he got a double digit return and looked really threatening. So it's not as if he got really really lucky, like he was in those sort of positions to do well. So fair play to owners. Talk to us about that Sun chance then, and the ramifications for the points in your team, that one on one that he missed.
Oh, that was quite sickening. I was watching the game, and I saw when he went through. I just like in my head, I thought this is a goal because that is a typical Son goal. He always finishes those chances,
Yeah.
and that was honestly I didn't work out completely, but that worked out to be something like I'd say at least a 13-point swing because it would have been a Brennan Johnson assist. It would have been a Son goal. Edison had already backed the clean sheet by being subbed off, and then Gvardiol would have lost those clean sheet points as well.
Mm.
So that would have honestly, like, I'd say probably at 15 points that miss was, and like honestly, I can't, like, even the next morning I was thinking about it. I was like, how did you miss that, son?
Oh no!
But
Well,
yeah, that's the way. That's what happens. It happens.
that is one of those iconic Premier League moments that does decide a title. Obviously, it's a long season, but
Yeah, it was
in
it was
isolation,
huge.
that moment was amazing.
It was huge in the title race balance, but also for us FPL
Yeah,
managers as
true.
well. So it
And
was
what's more important, you know?
well,
That's the
FPL, man, FPL.
exactly. All right, let's have a look at your team for the upcoming game week. This is where we can have some fun, I think. I really do.
Yeah.
I feel like, obviously everyone's dead ending, last game week of the season. And I think actually there are a lot of potential punts this game week. I think actually more than perhaps we've ever seen. The likes of Salah, for example,
Yeah.
who is extremely low owned. Now, he's tough to get to, but if you do have a path for him, I think it's a good option. Also, loads of other smart players that you might not think of. I mean, the Palace boys are doing extremely well at the moment.
Yeah.
You could even go for other Liverpool attackers.
Mhm.
There are definitely puntable fixtures. Your team, to be fair, looks really good. Just anyway. So tell the people, what are you thinking? How many transfers do you have?
So I've got two free transfers, and we talked in the last few weeks about having that path to Salah. So I've luckily managed to get to that. So because I bought Brennan Johnson and Richarlison was injured, so went for the next best option there. So I've got enough in the bank for Gordon and Isaac to Salah and Muniz.
Here we go.
Um,
This is what I'm
so
talking about. Oh, I've just reset your entire team. Well, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I was so shocked by the fact that you're bringing in Salah for the final game that I've reset
yeah,
your entire team. But why is Salah coming in?
I mean, look, he's simply one of the best assets in the game. He's got Wolves at home. If you look at the odds in that fixture, Liverpool are projected to score the second most goals in that game week. Salah is the second favourite to score at any time. He's got goals, assists. He's got penalties, and it possibly could be his last game. So I don't see. I mean, I think he'll get a full game. I think he might. I think Klopp might kind of sub him off near the end, like maybe 89th, 90th, if he's leaving, for some sort of standing ovation. But we don't know if he's going to leave yet or not, but possibly as his last game.
Mm.
I don't see, Liverpool have got nothing to play for, so I don't see any reason why he wouldn't play and why he wouldn't play the full game. And he just, I think, the best. I think I've got Haaland and Son, who are probably the first two best assets there. And then it's Salah. Probably so close between Salah and Son. But look, I've got two free transfers and I've got a route to him, and I don't think many people will be in that position. There are other good options there, like you mentioned, Elise, Johnson, who have got,
Yeah.
Eze, who are great punts for the week. Again, Villa have got nothing to play for. They've got fourth place secured. So, and Palace have been playing good football under Oliver Glasner as well. So there's got quite a few punts there, but I think the best one is Salah. And as you mentioned as well, he's going to be quite low owned. For Salah, at this point in the season, for the past 6 years, he would have been at 90% EO. But I think now you're probably looking at somewhere between, I don't know, maybe 20 to 30.
I mean, he's 23% owned in the game right now. In the top 100k, I cannot imagine that he's over 5%. I mean, he just can't be. I think he'd probably be more like 1 or 2%. I mean, nobody has him, literally nobody. And even if some people like you get him in this week, the path to him is challenging. Like, you have to have significant money in the bank and a way to get to him. So the real question, I guess, is, would you be tempted to captain him?
No. Well, see, I've thought about it, right? But the reason for that is because, look, okay, I think City and Arsenal still in the title race. I looked at the odds for that game. Haaland is at 71% to score at any time. Um,
Whoa.
they're playing West Ham. They've conceded the fourth most goals, and they've got the third worst XGC. Like, they are terrible at the back. And I just think the risk is too big. We saw what happened a few weeks ago for those who went against Salah when he scored those four goals. I think bringing in Salah is differential enough, and I think I've got enough players in there. I've got a double Arsenal defense. Who can do me well. The likes of I've got Brennan Johnson there, who I don't think will be highly owned.
No.
I don't think Nicola, Jackson probably be around about 30%. So I think I've still got a fair amount of differentials in there. And bringing in Salah as a differential will be enough. I mean, the thing is, I'm at like 45k. I'm not going to get to top 10k finish unless I do something really risky. And
Mm.
but to take that sort of risk, I think I'll probably have to not captain Haaland. And if he goes berserk, I could possibly finish outside the top 100k, and I don't want to do that. So if I had possibly had like
Yeah.
a chance of going for the top 10k there, then I might do something. I might have possibly captain Salah, but I just think right now where I'm at, I'm just kind of a bit of no man's land. I'm just going to try and get the best rank possible, really. And then I think Haaland. It's very hard to bet against him this week.
Yeah, I'm at. Let's talk about actually like just goals and stuff and rank targets, because I'm at 25k and I'm 30 points behind 10k, and I don't just that's just not it's not realistic to get in
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, I'm 51 points. You're 30. I mean, like, you're gonna have to really, bet against Haaland, possibly take him out, because
Yeah,
to take that kind of, to gain that, because gaining 30 points on a single player, like if you're chasing a mini league rival, is different to chasing it in a ranked tier.
yeah,
It's a lot more difficult.
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I can't think of any game week where I've even been close to getting 30 points. I think my best score over the top 10k or the top 100k average is something like 15 to. I
Yeah,
mean, if you get, we talk about safety scores and stuff. If you're getting 10 to 15 points more than your safety score,
Mhm.
you're having an unbelievably good game week there.
Oh yeah,
So, I mean, I think perhaps, you might think, oh, 25k, go for top 10k. You could do that, but I feel like it's impossible anyway. So,
yeah.
it's
Because
maybe a little bit more risky
the
just
level
to.
of risk you've got to take is
Yeah.
like, you're gonna have to bet against Haaland. So like, there's no point in having Haaland if you're gonna want to make up 30 points. So you're gonna
No.
possibly look at taking him out, and then that could, just launch out the top 100k.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's something that you don't want. And look,
No.
I think look, the ranks that we're at, you're at 40, 25K. It's a very good rank. You know what I mean? Like there's 10 million players.
Well, yeah,
So
well, that's the thing. What is a, because we've had this top 10K thing for a while.
yeah,
What is a like a really good rank these days? I mean, do we even know?
I think 45K is a really good rank.
Yeah, nice. I mean, to
No,
be
like,
fair, I mean, I genuinely think that top 100K these days, you have to have a good season to get top 100K. I play properly every year.
yeah,
You obviously are extremely into it. I'm extremely into it. We didn't get top 100K last year. We were 1 and 2 points away, but
yeah.
we didn't get it.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I think like top 100K is a good season. I think what determines, like, I think if you play well, you can get top 100K, and then the luck kind of determines whether you'll finish, anywhere between that, 50K, 20K to top 10K, even top 1K, right? I think if you're getting a top 100K finish, then you've been engaged, you've played well, and you kind of know what you're doing over the course of the season because right now there's 10 million players. The amount of information that's out there is, it's vast. They've got all the big YouTubers. You're getting kind of content, and your team moves handed to you on a plate. So, top 100K is I'd say it's a good finish, and I think it'd be for guys like me and you, it'd be the bare minimum. So
Yeah.
I'd say a top 50K is great. I'd say like how people say like the new top 10K. I'd say maybe top 20K or top 25K is the new top 10K, right? If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That'd be like the new kind of benchmark. And then, I say top 50K is still decent. Like, in past seasons, you probably compare a top 50 to a past top 25, just by kind of calculating by the number of players we've got now compared to in the last 5 years, and also the amount of information available as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, let's talk punts. Now, I wanna ask you about individual fixtures because I think when we talk about Game Week 38, and it is such a crazy game week historically, and we know it's going to be the same again because it is every
Mm.
single year. That there always are more goals in this game week than the
Yeah.
average across the season. I think personally the best way to kind of analyze and work out which players you want to go for is by analyzing the actual individual fixture itself and kind of predicting that. And perhaps you can talk to the viewers about fixtures that are predicted to have the most goals or the fewest clean sheets. Just because if you're looking at, for example, the Sheffield United Tottenham game,
Yeah.
both teams now really with nothing to play for. Could that just be a crazy game where no one really cares? Let's go have some fun. Sheffield United in front of their own fans last time in the Premier League, and then Tottenham just will probably score quite a few goals.
I think so, honestly. Like I think judging by past seasons, I think there's been an average of nine more goals in Game Week 38 than the average season or something like that. No, sorry, so for the past 9 seasons, Game Week 38 has outscored the average season per
Right.
goal ratio, right? So we know there's going to be goals in this game week. But yeah, I think you're totally right. Looking at the fixtures and kind of like predicting what's going to happen. I mean, okay, City West Ham. I know there's going to be goals there. City really need to win.
Mm.
West Ham pure defense. Sheffield against Spurs. Nothing to play for. I mean, those teams aren't going to go in there and just like defend a 1-0 lead.
Yeah.
When
Exactly.
they've got not much to play for. And then teams like Palace and Villa. Both teams again. Palace have only got league position to play for. Villa have got. So I mean, these fans that like, if you think about it from even like a football and manager's perspective, they're gonna it's the last day of the season. They want to play entertaining football. Even like teams like, I guess, like Everton, who are usually quite defensive. They get a 1 goal lead, and they kind of defend that lead. Even like teams like that will probably just be kind of playing. So definitely, I mean, look, the proof is in the pudding. Like we do see more goals in Game Week 30, and I think that is partly the reason because that is that there's a lot of teams who've got nothing to play for, and you just tend to see more goals.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Now, the final set of players I want to ask you about is actually Arsenal, just because you only have two Arsenal players.
Yeah.
Obviously, Salah is the player that you're looking to bring in. Are you tempted by an Arsenal midfielder instead?
I mean, I would have been like if I didn't have enough for Salah. So I think Saka and Havertz are great options, and that would have been my transfer if I, I didn't have the two free transfers or enough money for Salah. Look, they're great options. I mean, like Arsenal, Man City, and Liverpool are the three teams who are
You know, the
predicted
ones
to
to
score the
target.
most goals. That's the games you're likely to see, like, a big score line in, maybe like a 3-4 or a 5-0 or something like that. So yeah, great options, but I just think there's more goals predicted in the Liverpool game. So therefore, I'll be going for Salah. If Arsenal had a better fixture, like it was Sheffield United, to say for example, then I'd probably look at Havertz or Saka. But I think this week, for me, it's Salah. And look, Saka or Havertz can easily outscore Salah this week, but I'm just going to go with the odds. Looking at the betting markets, looking at the goal and assist threat. But yeah, look, Arsenal assets are great options, and it will be, yeah. I mean, I don't like the fact that I'm not going to be going in with any Arsenal attackers, but you just can't have them all.
No, 100%, 100%. Penultimate question: rank Eze, Olise, and Mateta in terms of who you'd want to bring in. I have this fixture penciled as one that could, I think, be a high scoring one, just because Palace, especially, are doing extremely well.
Yeah,
And they're at home, and Villa have now literally nothing to play for because they've secured Champions League,
yeah,
and I think they've had probably a celebratory week, to be honest. So
yeah,
I feel like Palace could do really, really well here. I've got that marked down as one where I feel like they could get 4 or 5 goals. So I'm
yeah,
looking at
yeah.
Palace attacker. I know it's a bit bold, but that is the one fixture I think could be the most different from what you'd necessarily expect.
Yeah, I mean, quite possibly. I mean, I'd probably rank them. I've not looked at their stats for the past few weeks, but I would go with Eze, Olise, and Mateta. And I'd go with Eze first because I think he is predicted for, like, he does tend to get more minutes at the moment, and he's on
Yeah.
penalties. And I know, Olise has been good lately, but look, the thing is, I was thinking, like, because obviously it's game week 38, all the games kick off at the same time. I'm going to be waiting until the end, to make my transfer. So if I get some sort of surprise, like Johnson is benched or Foden's benched, then
Mm.
I'll probably bring in, Salah and, somebody like an Eze or an Elise. And that's the guys I'm targeting as well, because I agree. I think that fixture, has got the potential. And, Eze and Elise are, Mateta, all fantastic assets.
That's a very good point. We may well get, or we probably will get team news,
Yeah.
some sort of leaks before deadline, as all games are at the same time. Let's round things off one final time with your AI recommended transfers. A man that is recommended to be transferred in has been kind of a thorn in our side's past few game
Oh, don't
weeks.
tell me Guardiola, man.
Of course it is. He's got another fantastic fixture. I would say the clean sheet is all but locked in, and now with Edison probably being out, it's
Yeah.
recommending you to get rid of Edison for David Raya, because it looks like a great clean sheet as well. And
Triple Arsenal
Dallo
defense,
goes
yeah.
to Gvardiol. Yeah, triple Arsenal,
Mm.
best defense in the league, but comfortably. To be honest, I think
Yeah.
those transfers are really good.
To be fair, they are actually good transfers. If you're looking at, like, maximizing points, right?
Exactly, which is
They
what we
have.
should be doing realistically.
Yeah, but look, it's the human factor takes over as well.
Of
You don't
course,
want to spend 2 transfers in defense on the final day, right?
no,
But yeah, you know what? Like, I remember the algorithm recommending taking, I think it was Onana, bringing Onana and Guardiola in last week as well. So,
yes,
what do
it
I
did.
know? And it's doing the same again this week. So yeah, who knows? I mean, Guardiola, you can pretty much, classify him as an attacker right now anyway. So yeah, I think I'll be swerving it. I'm not gonna. I mean, it's just so annoying. I mean, I'd just be loath to bring him in this week. If I bought him in, I'd just be so disappointed in myself. So I'll give that a miss.
No, I respect it. I respect it. I will say though, looking at these transfers, yeah, you just would not be shocked if this was the optimal set of moves for your team. I mean, I know it'd be similar for my team as well, especially with Edison looking unlikely to play that game. That
Sure.
City that City clean just looks nailed. But you don't want to go for you don't want to bank on a clean sheet in game week 38
Yeah.
anyway. You want to go for Salah, as you said. Might be the last time you can ever have him in your team in
Exactly.
fantasy Premier League.
Exactly.
All right, mate, that's going to do it for this one, guys. If you would like your own AI recommended transfers for the final game week, I will say if you're extremely close, like in a mini league, for example, 5-10 points behind, it might be worth going for a set of moves like that just to really optimize your team and make sure that you have the best 11 in
Mhm.
place. Perhaps you'd say it's less fun, but what's more fun, going for a punt or winning a mini league? I think it's close. I'm not saying you can't either way, but it's good to have these sort of moves in mind that
You
will
nailed it.
probably optimize your points. Yeah.
You nailed it there. Winning is fun.
Well, that is the case. That is the case. Anyway, mate, thank you very much for your tips and advice. Good luck this game week.
Thank you.
Let's hope that everyone finishes on a respectable green and a good rank Thank you very much for your tips and advice across this season as well. We'll be back next year. One more video to come this week with Bakar, guys. But yeah, good luck in the final game week of the season.
Thanks, Jack.